So the Dragon Ball Heroes data download has dropped, which means we have to cover the rest of the Dragon Ball Heroes cards that we didn't get through in the last video. If you haven't checked that video out, I recommend you do so, because we won't be checking out those cards in today's video, but the ones that were remaining. So let's jump into it. As you can see, there is a lot of cards in here, and you can already tell when the cards are going to be releasing, which is the 22nd of November. 6 a.m. UTC, which is around 2 a.m. EST, I think, something like that. So let's go from top to bottom here, starting off with the brand new free-to-play card. This is mostly going to be my time, because this is like the free-to-play stuff. We got EZAs to go through as well, and some of the pay-to-play cards that are awakening that they didn't show over on Twitter. These are just rough translations, so if I get something wrong, correct me in the comment section down below. Probably once this video uploads, there will be like more accurate translations, but this is just so I can get this video up as soon as possible. Okay, lags, or the translation says rags. DV Heroes lead with 50%, raises attack and defense for 1 turn, and then it says lowers attack and defense with a high probability, which means probably a high chance to lower the attack and defense, and then still super attacks with a high probability. But that is kind of a shaft. I wish it was just permanent if it is correct. Own attack and defense plus 100%, an additional attack and defense 50% when super attack is activated, and avoid enemy attack with a medium probability. And then I'm just phrasing here, when the target enemy's HP is less than 75%, own attack plus 50% up. In addition, when HP of the enemy is less than 50%, always make an additional attack and activates a super attack with a higher chance. That's pretty good. And then this last phrase, I don't know what it means, but every time you attack an enemy, increases the 6% chance of probability of something up to 30%. I have no idea what this is. Here are all her links and all of her categories and stats. 8,000 defense is not too bad. I wouldn't say it's the worst, so that's not too bad for a TUI, I think. Next up, we have the Janemba here, which is a crossover leader for 2 key and 120%. He's only an SSR. There is no awakening for him until probably 2 years down the line or something like that. Inflicts super oversized damage, supreme damage, raises attack and defense for 3 turns by 30%. And then for the passive skill, for the first 5 turns of appearance, guards all attacks with a high chance. Okay. Guards all attacks when there are 2 or more enemies. And per crossover category ally on the team, an extra 30% attack and defense up to 150%. And every time you activate a super attack, 50% attack up to 150%. And every time you get attacked, further defense plus 30% up to 90%. And then this phrase, I have no idea what this says. So if somebody can clear that up in the comment section, I would be much appreciated. Here are all his links and categories and stats. He looks pretty interesting. I don't know what his numbers are going to be, especially being like low stats, being 8,785 at 100%. Don't know how much defense he can gain. Now we have the Golden Metal Cooler, who is AGL. So he's a crossover leader for 2 key and 120%, raises attack and defense for 1 turn, inflicts supreme damage to the enemy. Attack and defense plus 150% up when super attack is activated. Always makes an additional attack and activate a super attack with a high chance. Reduces damage by 20%. And in the crossover category per ally in the team, 30% attack up to 150%. So it looks like, I think the damage reduction 20% is permanent. It looks like he's not going to be in a Wicked Bloodline team, unfortunately, just because of how many crossover units you need in order to build up his attack. I just realized he doesn't get any defense on that as well. But let's see. Damage further reduced by 60% up to 30%. And... oh, so yeah. Okay, so per crossover, you get an extra 6%. So that's very important. Unless you're running like... I don't even think Coolies are on the Wicked Bloodline team. And this guy will be worth it. And when HP is 30% or less at the start of the turn, himself becomes a special move blockade. But I think he's an okay unit just because as an SSR, he has already 50% damage reduction on a crossover team. I don't think he's too bad, especially if you just put him in the second or third slot. I think he'll be cool. Here are all his links. And here are the categories and the 100% stats. Alright, so the next unit we're going to look at is the Super Saiyan 3 Xeno Goku, who's actually easying this celebration. So thank you to Minato for the translations for this one. This one's going to be a little bit more accurate as long as he didn't make any more mistakes. So he's a DB Heroes leader for 130% or Super STR for 130%. And then he greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes immense damage with a great chance to stun. Reduces damage received by 15% for the first 3 turns from first appearance. Okay, attack and defense was 150% and guards all attacks. That's good. Plus additional attack and defense was 50% when performing a super attack. Plus additional defense plus 20% up to 100% and reduces damage received by 7% up to 35%. Okay, this is really good on a Dragon Ball Heroes team. Really, really good. Because you're getting 50% damage reduction and guard. This guy is really, really nice. And of course, he's got some decent amount of attack as well. And then the greatly raised attack does help tremendously. I think this is pretty good. I think that's pretty good. I don't know what others are going to say, but I think it is pretty nice. However, obviously outside of the Dragon Ball Heroes, depending on how fast this age, he might not be used as much. Then we got the Super Saiyan 3 Xeno Vegeta. And he is pretty much the same leader skill, but with super physical. Greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes immense damage, and greatly lowers defense. Performs an additional attack with a high chance of becoming a super attack for the first 3 turns from appearance. Attack and defense was 150%, disables enemy's guard. Plus additional attack and defense was 50% when performing a super attack. An additional attack plus 20% up to 100%, and chance of performing a critical hit by 7% up to 35% per Dragon Ball Heroes category ally on the team. I think the Goku is a little bit more useful, just because I like more tanking than, I guess, the potential to do an additional super attack. I guess you can do, like, max additional and stuff like that because you're getting that 35% crit rate. But yeah, I think it's still fairly good just because he greatly raises attack and defense. And if you can get the triple super attack, I think defensively he'd be pretty good. Alright, so moving on, we have the EZA free-to-play Putin, which is a crossover leader for 3 key and 77%, as well as a 3 key 50% to physical and STR or something like that. 1 turn attack and defense raised with supreme damage to the enemy with a high chance to stun. I don't think much changed there. But own attack and defense 150%. That's pretty standard for free to play. And she now gets attack and defense plus 15% per crossover category ally on the team, excluding herself. So 6 times 15, which is extra 90%, which is nice. If the opponent is stunned or sealed, attack is increased by 70%. And then I have no idea what this is. Crossover category, 2 key and 30% attack and defense. I don't think that changed much or at all. And then lowers the attacked enemy's attack and defense by 20% for 2 turns and seals super attack. So just some minor upgrades, which is really good. Now for Demon God Salsa, he's a crossover leader for 3 key 77%, as well as a tech leader for 3 key and 50%. I think this is 1 turn greatly raise attack and defense. And then seals super attack as well. 3 key and 100% up. And then a 20% increase per crossover category ally on the team, up to 80%. 15% increase in the probability of dodging as well, up to 45%. And for each enemy, in addition, the probability of dodging is up by 5%. So this guy benefits when versing multiple enemies. And every time he dodges, attack plus 20% up to 60%, and defense by 10% up to 30%. Okay, so 100%, then you get the attack and defense of 180%. I think the dodging is calculated separately, so you get like, I don't know how much that's gonna be, but with the raise attack and defense, I think it's not bad. He's actually pretty good, as long as you can dodge, of course, which the only relevant place you can't dodge is pretty much Broly. Of course, this is all reliant on the crossover category on the team as well, because you need that dodge chance to begin with. But if you can get all of that, that is a 70% chance to dodge, which is a great chance to dodge, which is really, really nice. And I think even then, like, once he like double supers, I think he can build up enough defense to tank, I guess, normal attacks. 8,782 defense on his Easy A stats. I'm quite excited for this Salsa. I wonder how good he's actually going to be, what his numbers are on a free-to-play team, of course. So let's look at the Super Saiyan Combo who Easy A's now. He raises attack and defense, immense damage to the enemy, and greatly lowers the attack and defense of the enemy. Passive skill, 2 key, 200% attack and defense up, and during its turn when attack, defense plus 50% up. And when attacked by an enemy, stun super type enemies with a high chance. And if the attacked opponent is stunned, in addition, attack plus 50%. And the meeting will always be activated. I have no idea what the meeting is. I didn't know he was an office worker. If the conditions are met, he will be changed into giant form, which is when he is less than 50% HP. Very interesting. He gets a little bit more defense. I don't know if that makes or breaks him. An extra 50% attack and defense at the start of the turn. I think he's got still the same high chance of stunning. I think he's still very good for SBR and stuff like that. But yeah, I wonder what he's like in Red Zone content now. Now we'll look at the free-to-play Easy A Combo, which is a Dragon Ball Heroes leader for 77% and STR for 50%. Infinitely raises attack and defense, supreme damage to the enemy, and lowers the defense. 3 key and attack and defense was 150% up. So the more starter turn defense he's going to have, the better his defense is going to be for stacking. When attacking the enemies, all extreme allies attack defense 20% up. And when attacked by the enemy, in addition, its own defense plus 50% up, and super enemies attack defense down by 30%. So an extra 50% defense is nice. But you do have to get attacked first. So that first hit is always going to be a lot more than what the next few hits are going to be. So hopefully it's not the super attack if you're deciding to tank with him. And of course, he still has that when attacked by an enemy, additional super attack will activate. So a very minor change, just a little bit extra attack and defense. That's pretty much it. And then an additional effect when attacked. Still has a slightly lower on the defense side. So hopefully he can stack at least like 30,000 per super. And then I think he can be alright. Let's look at the Supreme Kai of Time. She's now an Easy A unit, and she's a leader for Dragon Ball Heroes 3 key and 130%, Super Tech 3 key and 130% as well. Massively raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes immense damage, and steals the super attack of the enemy. Attack and defense was 120%, all allies 3 key and 40% support, and chance of performing a critical plus 12%. Great chance of an additional attack plus 12% for all allies. This is like the newest showcasing unit now. Great chance of an additional defense plus 12% of all allies. Recovers 12% HP at the end of the turn when receiving an attack. Very interesting. I don't think that is like good enough. Only like not even 200% attack and defense for this girl. The massively raised attack and defense, you kind of need that double super. Even though massively raises like what, 100%? I don't know if that's enough. We'll see. I'm not too sure. And then we got one of my favorite characters from the Super Dragon Ball Heroes cast, which is Fu, who is also an Easy A unit now. DB Heroes 4 key, 150%, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes immense damage, and seals super attack. Attack defense was 150% when performing a super attack, key plus 1, and attack and defense was 10% up to 50%, and chance of evading enemies attack up by 10% up to 50% per time travelers category ally on the team. A little bit more of an easier restriction. You get the 50% chance to dodge, which is nice. The extra 50% attack and defense, which is pretty good. Then you get an additional attack plus 50% when HP is 50% or less. That's harsh. Additional attack and defense plus 50% within the turn in which the character evades an attack. So very dodge heavy unit, because that 50% attack and defense calculated separately. So that's going to be a huge boost, and you'll be relying on that dodge for sure. And that means if you want him to do that extra bit of damage, you want to put him in that first slot as well. So, interesting card. Then we have Easy A Golden Cooler. Hopefully he's good. Dragon Ball Heroes and Extreme Tech for 130% in the leader skill. Raises attack infinitely. Raises defense for 1 turn. Causes immense damage to the enemy. Attack and defense was 130%. And additional defense plus 30% when performing a super attack. Reduces damage received by 10% up to 30% with each super attack performed, okay, within the same turn. Launches 2 additional attacks that has a high chance of becoming a super attack. when there are 3 or more Dragon Ball Heroes category allies on the team. Technically, you can have all these restrictions done if you had the other Wicked Bloodline Dragon Ball Heroes units. All allies 2 key and 20% attack and defense. Dragon Ball Heroes category allies 20% attack and defense. I think 40% support, I think kind of needed for that extreme team if you're just summoning for hearts. I think this one's one of the better ones for sure. Just because those additional attacks can perform a super attack and then you get the damage reduction. Not too bad. Now we're looking at the Easy A arms. I'm most excited about this guy out of all the free-to-play units because he had like a pretty good, you know, pre-Easy A for the time. Artificial life forms, 3 key and 77%. Okay, 1 turn defense raise, which is good. That was the addition, and then he still lowers the attack and defense. The defense raise is really nice. Own attack and defense plus 120% up. 2 key and 30% defense to all allies. 2 key for all allies. It used to be extreme. I wonder if it's actually for all allies. 30% defense up as well, and then artificial life form category units will get a 30% attack as well, and then 30% increase in your own attack when attacking. Okay, and every time you get attacked, in addition, your defense increases by 30% up to 150%. Wow, that's actually a lot of defense. Hold on, arms can be pretty good once fully built up. It might be a risky play though. If you're versing an event that's pretty easy at the start, you know, this will be like no problem. But yeah, this guy can be kind of nice. He definitely has the lowest defense stat of all of them, but raised defense is good, and of course he's a support, so pretty handy for most players. Stun the attacked enemy at a high chance. Okay, I guess other than arms right now, I'm not really like too excited for, or maybe salsa and arms right now are probably my favorite at the moment. Next up, we're looking at the Easy A for Silas. 3 key to all attributes and 80% up. Defense raise for 1 turn. Okay, immense damage and significantly reduces defense. Key plus 1 attack and defense was 100% up. And attack and defense 100% up when super attacks are activated. Artificial life form support for 1 key and 20% attack and defense. Then Time Travelers, I think, is 1 key and 20% attack and defense as well. Dodge enemy attacks with a high chance. And then he has the Emerging effect from the 5th turn of the start of the battle. Let's see what has changed with his transformation. 1 turn defense raise. Reduces defense significantly. Okay, nothing changes there. 3 key on... 3 extra key, 120% attack and defense. Okay, so there's an extra 20% on both ends there. Every time you attack, plus an additional attack and defense up to 30%. And if the opponent's attack and defense is down, additional attack that has a high chance of being a super attack will be activated. I think that's what it means here from this sentence. So that will help on his defense raise. It's a slight upgrade. I would probably say, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I like the pre-transformation of all these extreme units. Like Hearts, I like the first part. He's pre-transformation, then his transformation. Obviously, when his guard's gone, you kind of have to transform with Hearts. But this guy, I think you might have to actually just keep him in his normal form. I don't remember if it's forced or not, though. Our last pay-to-play unit we're looking at is the Great Saiyan Man 3. I remember when he came out, he was sick, dude. 1 turn attack and defense raised with immense damage. And then he raises attack of super class allies by 30%, which is kind of cool. If this guy's a first slot unit, this might be actually a really nice super attack effect. 3 key and 130% up. And for every time traveler category ally in the team, an additional 30%. Which means if you're running a full time travelers team, that's a 210% attack and defense on this guy, which is insane. Especially, also, you can raise attack and defense as well. And raise the super class allies by 30% on his super attack mechanic. I think meeting is critical chance, because I think he had a critical chance as well. By 3%. And then defense by 30% down during the turn when attacked. What? No, he loses defense? So he gains defense, so he gains crit rate chance when attacked, but then he loses defense during the turn when attacked. That kind of sucks. I don't know how big that's going to be, but that does kind of suck. Every time you are attacked, though, attack defense 10% up to 30%. So what's the point of this? What is the point of this, man? It's like the sacrifice on the first turn. That's pretty much it. Reduces normal attacks by 30% in counters with tremendous power. I forgot he can do counters. And a 30% damage reduction on normals. Okay. I find this guy pretty interesting. He gets a lot of attack and defense. That's probably why he, like, had to be reduced by the... maybe the translation's wrong. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's actually up. Maybe it's actually up. Alright. The final unit we're going through is the Great Saiyaman 4. He's a youth category leader for 77% and a super leader for 40%. Raises attack and defense infinitely, and then supreme damage to the enemy. Lowers defense. Own attack defense 120% up. All super allies energy 2 key defense up. Youth categories will get a 30% additional and 30% increase in your own defense when attacking. Every time you attack, 10% increase in the probability of activating a critical up to 50%. So you'll get a 50% chance to critical after 5 attacks. An additional super attack chance at a high chance. And not a... That's actually really good for a stacker. Pretty good for a stacker. I think he's still gonna, like, stack pretty slowly. I think it feels like a Tora unit, if you know what I mean, just with the inbuilt additional. The 30% increase probably will make him a bit faster of a defense stacker than, well, technically have a higher defense stack than Tora, but I feel like they're kind of the same in terms of, like, how little they will probably stack. Still, regardless, if you get more additional super attacks, then if you get a lot of additional super attacks, then you'll be pretty good. And then you don't have to worry about crits now. You can just full... I mean, I don't know why you would put in max crit to begin with, but you now just put full additional and then the rest dodge. Screw the critical anyway. He probably won't even do that much damage. But yeah, pretty good for, like, the youth or super class ally. He's not, like, restricted or anything like that. So, I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty much it for the Dragon Ball Heroes update. Man, I've been recording for pretty long here. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Let me know who you are most excited for in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, stay fizzy. Peace out.